Holland became Romeo in Romeo and Juliet?
Let me guess who they cast as Juliet, his girlfriend. What's her name? The
Zendaya.
one playing it, the one playing MJ.
Yeah, Zendaya.
Zendaya, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, everyone's thinking this is his get back for because you heard that movie Zendaya was in, and I think she got like piked by like two guys. So
Oh wow.
yeah, everyone said everyone said like Tom Holland's crying in the corner somewhere.
So you're saying Tom Holland is now the Peter from 616 Comics right now, right?
He's the most comic authentic Peter Parker. There you
Was one of the guys in there with? Was he named by any chance Paul?
go. I haven't checked that. That would be actually amazing.
Oh man, that would be funny.
Let's see. All right, so no, it's not made for kids, so YouTube doesn't hate on us or anything.
Well, to be quite frank, since the title is partly named suicide, I would think that would be a red flag for kids.
You never know. You never know. You know.
Hmm.
Better be safe than sorry. But yeah,
Yeah.
Hi guys, you might know us from that famous live stream podcast,
Hmm.
Phanatics. There's just me here, Cryptid. Oh no, I'm Jake. That's Cryptid.
Yep.
We're gonna be talking about we're gonna be talking about the death of the Justice League again.
Hmm.
Yeah, so as usual, it's me, Jake Talonol, the one who slaughters the Justice League. Okay.
You're here with me, Cryptid Zika Room 415. Batman ain't no fascist.
Yeah, as I said before, we're the Fanatics, and you can follow us on social media sites that only Cryptid would know.
Okay, follow us on Instagram at Comic Fanatic 2.0, or you can follow us on Twitter at Comic Fanatic 69, and that's as far as I remember. So,
So basically, you want to start us off with what's your thoughts on? Oh, by the way, we did not play the game. We just watched
yeah,
it. That's all we're
we just, yeah, I have an excuse because I don't have a PS5 audience. So,
Listen, I'm not paying $70 for this game.
based on what we saw in the cutscenes, ain't worth it. Like, well, in my opinion, anyway.
I wouldn't say it's worth $70. I've seen the gameplay, I've seen the cutscenes, and you know what? It's just not $70 material. That's all I gotta say.
Which is so sad because you had like this game has suffered massive delays. You would think they would work out the kinks by the time they released it.
Yeah, you would, but here we are. But without further ado, Cryptid, what did you think of the story of Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League?
This story felt like it was a tie-in to an event that wasn't interesting at all. That's the way I saw this the storyline going.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jake.
Hello? Oh, no.
Jake, can you hear me?
This always happens when we're reviewing.
This is Aquaman.
Sorry, guys.
This is
Technical
Aquaman.
issues. Give me 1 second.
This is Aquaman all over again. I swear. Okay. Bring you back. Hold on a sec, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay, Jake, say something.
Yeah, I just realized I muted my tab.
Okay, gotcha. I was about to say this is Aquaman all over again, man.
Yeah. Go check out that review too, our Aquaman review. It has technical issues, but it's fun time. So,
yeah. But Jake, did you hear what I said earlier, right?
You said that it felt like an event that didn't quite.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I felt like this game felt like it was a tie-in to an event that wasn't all that interesting.
I'm gonna be the contrarian. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, in the universe that it's set in, it may be the worst of them. But I actually was entertained by the story. So here's the thing. It's the Justice League dying. I've seen so many times. It doesn't bother me. I really don't care.
Yeah.
I think everyone on Twitter took this way more personally than it is. Yeah, your heroes die. Guess what? They die like 60 times in the comics, like once a year. Your heroes will die.
But I think But I think what the twist was with this game is the fact that the majority of them died in a very disrespectful manner, or in some cases, they were literally getting pissed on in their graves. You know, all except for one character who was clearly favored for obvious reasons. You know.
As well. Well, even though I liked her in the story, the character in question is Wonder Woman. Now,
Yeah.
I like her in the story. If I hadn't seen the things that I'd see later, I could actually defend her as being like, yeah, no, they didn't want to do it because they favored her. They just had a good story to tell with her. But
Hmm.
until you see some things later, you're like, oh no, they clearly, this is a bias right here.
Especially coming from someone like Lex Luthor of all people. You know, like.
So, but I do think this story is great. And you know what's crazy? Because I'm actually playing the game. There's things that I've learned that happen, like story beats in the game that aren't in the cutscenes, that I actually think are really cool. And it does remind me of the Arkham way of storytelling, where a lot of the stories told in cutscenes, but there's so much more told in like the details and like the dialogue that's in between those moments. Um,
Yep.
so I liked that as well. I love this cast of characters. I think the voice acting for this game is like fucking phenomenal. Okay, I I love Captain Boomerang's actor. He always there's like one line was like, "Oh, we went and bloody did it. We killed Superman. We killed the Justice." I was like, actor, and you know what? I'll look at that too.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll say the one funny joke from Captain Boomerang to me was when, like, they all got frozen in time, right? And you have Brainiac who's going to them each one by one, promising something to them, and also telling them what they're going to be when they're working for him. And then when he went to Brainiac, he said, "I'll give you what you want," and it was that Boomerang just smirked. Hey, no, you had me. Continue on. I want to hear. Come on. Like,
yeah, the voice actor, who according to my Google is Daniel Lapine. He's really good at this, and I think he like steals the show from me. I know for a lot of people he's just like there, but like I
mm,
love his acting. You know.
he felt so much like Kano from the Mortal Kombat movie. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
And I know there's a lot of talk about how like the Suicide Squad don't really treat the Justice League with respect, and you know what? Here's where I'm going to be put my foot in the sand. I like that because they're villains. Listen, this is why we don't get actual villain movies, okay? Because if we did,
Mhm.
this is what it would look like. Everyone's like, "Oh, we have the Joker movie." That's not a villain movie. That's just Joker fighting corruption. He's fighting a worse threat. Like,
Yeah.
these aren't really villain movies. Venom isn't a
Mhm.
villain movie. Craven's not a villain movie. Joker, all these aren't villain movies. They all are fighting something worse than themselves. Okay?
Mhm.
This is like, sure, the Justice League are acting worse than the Suicide Squad. Sure. But the Suicide Squad never lose the sight of the fact that they are villains. Okay? They don't
Mhm.
redeem themselves. They're pretty much the same. They just grow tighter as a team. That's what I love about
Yeah.
this.
Just overlook the fact that they're saving the world. You know?
Yes, because they might be saving the world, but really they're just doing it because they have a bomb to their neck. You know what I mean? They're not doing this.
Mhm.
Um, and I like all that stuff as well. That said, and we were talking about Wonder Woman too. As much as like she's clearly favored, but as far as the way the story is written, she's actually my favorite part of the story. Hang on. Hi,
Ooh. Okay.
Tavia.
Okay.
Good to see you there for a second. Hey, Tavia.
Tavia, what's up, man? Hmm.
Everyone,
What are your thoughts on the game?
yeah. What are your thoughts on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Um, so here's my thing. Everyone was like, Wonder Woman should have been replaced with Batman. It's his universe. And I'm like, if this was replaced by Batman, three things would have happened. Either one, Batman would have just solved the problem, and it would have there just wouldn't have been any point for the Suicide Squad, right? Um,
Mm,
two, the Suicide Squad would have to do what Batman couldn't, which would make Batman look stupid, and people would have hated it anyway. Okay.
mm,
Or three, Batman would have had to die at some point, and then people would have hated that too.
mm,
Because then it would be like, again, it'll be just be like, hey, how come Batman can't beat the Justice League, but the Suicide Squad can? That's lame. You know what I mean?
mm,
So having Wonder Woman in the picture, Wonder Woman is a good balance because she's between Superman and Batman. Like Wonder Woman is a warrior; she will do what it takes to defend people, but she's also very compassionate. So she has a hard time crossing the line of killing her friends to save the world. I do like that deep down inside, till the bitter end, she is fighting tooth and nail to save her friends, even though people are constantly telling her, hey, your friends are killing people. You gotta kill them. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
she probably could have ended everything a lot sooner, but it's because of who she is that she can't do it until it's too late. And when she tries, she dies. And I think that's a really good tragedy story. It made me really
Mhm.
care for Wonder Woman. I was like, damn, man, this is cool. You know? Um,
I think people would care more about this version of Wonder Woman if we didn't see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, albeit like, profiles on her, you know?
yeah, the profiles don't really do her much favors.
Mhm.
Do you want to go over what the Lex Luthor files, by the way?
I don't have it popped up right in front of me, but it goes somewhere along the lines of like Lex Luthor admiring Wonder Woman. I think it had something to do with him admiring her for eliminating quote unquote toxic masculinity or something like that.
Yeah, society. I was like, bro, come on, this is ridiculous. Lex Luthor.
Lex of all people saying that, come on.
Yeah, in remember in Batman Superman World's Finest,
Yeah.
where he sexually assaulted Amanda Waller. This is
Oh
the
yeah. And hey, if you want, hey, for all that talk about Themyscira being like the perfect society, hey, look at Themyscira's history, right? There's some stories showing that they had kidnapped men in boats and used them as their stud horses against their
yeah,
will. Like.
yeah. So I thought that was a bit weird, but like I said, the Wonder Woman. This is why, like, this is another reason again why I don't care much for behind the scenes
Mhm.
stuff. I don't really care why they put Wonder Woman in the story. I just care that it's written good. You know, if you
Mhm.
want to put a strong female in the story because you love that, fine. Just write it good. And I think Wonder Woman is
Mhm.
written great. She's a flawed
Yep.
character, but she tries her
And all.
hardest. So
And also, if you want to balance it out, like at least give some decency to at least one of the other male members in the Justice League. Otherwise, it does feel like a very pandering sort of move to give so much light into Wonder Woman while crapping on the other male heroes. You know?
yeah, Austin says Lex would hate her as much as Superman, as strong
Yep.
and born on. Oh yeah, as Superman. Like he hates her as Superman because of strong and born on Earth. It should have been him. It should have been him, not her.
Exactly. I mean, come on. Wonder Woman is just the female counterpart. Well, I don't want to go that far into saying it, but she is like Superwoman. You know.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
like I said, Wonder Woman is written great in this game. I wouldn't have switched any other way. I would have done the exact same story. I just would have fixed that bio. That's what I think with
Hmm.
her. As far as the Justice League's deaths themselves, I didn't mind the way they died. I just except for Superman. I think Superman's the one that all I was like, come on, that's
Uh,
it. So,
like so, Jake, you were okay with John Stewart dying and him being in his Green Lantern underwear?
for some reason, I thought that was on brand. I don't know why I couldn't tell you why that didn't
The
bother
only
me. Yeah,
the,
John Stewart.
the, only, the only time I saw that like being canon like within the comics, right? Because like it is, yeah, you're fighting, but you have the Green Lantern uniform covering over the clothes you're already wearing, right? They did reference that at one point, but it was only for Guy Gardner, right? When Sinestro captured him and was going to use him for an experiment, he took out his ring, and then like Sinestro was like, "Oh, Guy, come on." Guy was naked underneath like the Green Lantern costume, and he's like saying, "What? Hey, I don't want to wear double layer clothing. Come on, you know."
Yeah. I also won't lie to you. I didn't notice till my second viewing he was wearing that underwear. So,
Hmm.
um, but like I said, I don't mind it. It's fine, and I do like the Deadshot and Green Lantern moment. But here's what I hate about it. Right, you
Okay.
would know why Deadshot hates Green Lantern unless if you heard the audio logs, unless if they say it in the game, and I just missed it.
Oh.
So this is where we're also going to get into the complicated story of what happened with Deadshot. So as you know, there was a white Deadshot in the Arkham universe, as fans
Yep.
and then this team wanted to explain why there's a white and a black one. Now you might be saying, "Oh, they just switched places." No, that's not what happened. The way the story goes is such that The Black Deadshot, the one that we're with in this game, he's the first Deadshot. Okay.
Okay.
He retires, I think, before Batman comes in. I think that's the implication.
Mm-hmm.
And then while he retires to be with his daughter. While he's doing that, another Deadshot comes in. This is the white one that you know from the Arkham games. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Arkham games happen, and then at some point, the white Deadshot keeps putting too much heat on the black one somehow. So Floyd, the black one, gets out of retirement to hunt down the white one. He's like, you're gonna fuck up my reputation. I'm gonna kill you. But what he found out was that the white Deadshot acted exactly like him in every way, shape, or form. And it was funny. And he was like, okay, this is weird. So now he felt like he definitely had to kill him. They got into a shootout in which they both took the shot. They were like neck and neck. But they both took the shot, and the white Deadshot missed barely. It left a scar on Deadshot's face, which you can see in the game, I believe.
Yeah, I know there's something up with his eye.
Yeah. And the Black Deadshot killed him. The problem was this fight killed like a whole city block of people in Gotham.
Oh.
Yeah, so Green Lantern comes in, and Black Deadshot's like, I was just trying to defend myself. I tried to clear my name. And then and Green Lantern was like, man, you killed so many people. This wasn't about yourself. What are you talking about?
Okay, and in all fairness to Green Lantern, I mean, Deadshot, I know you're retired and all that stuff, but you still committed a lot of assassinations during your peak, right? Come on.
Yeah. So the Black Deadshot gets arrested, and he blames Green Lantern for his situation. That's why he hates Green Lantern so much.
Yeah. Where'd you hear this from?
This is in the audio logs for the game, which give you some pretty interesting information that would be but first I'm going to read Austin's comment. Green Lantern underwear is more of Howling or Guy's thing than John. John is the more serious army man.
Yep.
And then Austin says he's not old enough to have been active before Batman unless his career was straight ass. And then Bullseye is greater than Black and White Deadshot. Yeah.
And that's not just because Bullseye's color scheme is literally black and white, right?
Yeah. Oh, but I forgot. The mystery did continue because Deadshot in prison, he was wondering, like, why was there a white guy who was doing he was exactly me, but just white. So what was the deal with that? And so in the game, when he learns that the multiverse exists, he goes to ask Lex Luthor. He's like, Lex, like, is it possible this dude's from like another Earth, maybe your Earth? And Lex was like, no, because that would imply that he learned the multiverse before me, which like, no. But Deadshot's not convinced. He's convinced that he's from some other universe. Maybe not the one that Lex is from, the alternate Lex is from, but like, he is from that universe. He is from some. So the mystery continues, and I like that. It does have some holes. I like that story because it feels like a Twilight Zone mystery, really.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that said, in terms of like Green Lantern's death, which is what this all spawned from, I thought his death was fine. I just like the last moment. I just like the last moment with him and Deadshot. I thought it was a cool line for Deadshot. I love how the characters even bring it up, like, oh, he got a cool line. I didn't get a cool line. But yeah. Did you see the boss fights with your?
Yeah, I saw the boss fights. First, let me read Austin's comment. LOL. Can you really say exactly the same when you took the same shot and he missed?
Listen, he was just slightly worse. Okay, that was at 0.0. Listen, Austin, that's what the whiteness gets him. Okay, that's the whiteness. But yeah, what did you think? What did you think of the little bit you saw the boss fights? Did they look engaging to you?
Not so much. I mean, from what I saw, it just looked like typical boss fight. Nothing really. I did like Green Lanterns, though. It felt menacing when you saw him do those constructs of those missiles and those helicopters, and then eventually transforming into a giant version of himself. I'm like, damn, that's pretty fierce.
Yeah, I thought it was cool as well. I mean, I thought those were cool, and I like the idea that, like, I like the weakness, I like the strategies that the Suicide Squad puts in place to beat each Justice League member, except for Batman's. Batman's like makes no sense to me. But
I think with Batman, I think he did find a way to. He did have a plan to take himself down, but again, Harley Quinn was just fast forwarding through a lot of his contingency plans. So I think it
Yeah,
would be funny if it was revealed that yes, they just skipped over his plan to take himself out. You know?
they did say his plan, but his plan was dumb, and I don't think it could ever work the way he thought it would.
Yeah.
um, which I guess we can get into when we get into more spoilers, I guess. But
Yeah.
like I did want to go into Superman. I think Superman was the most underplayed out of everybody.
Hmm.
He had great moments, but like as a character, he didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
um,
I wonder. I wonder if the writers took this to heart when they saw like everybody's just sick and tired of an evil Superman. So they're like, okay, let's just not lead this on any more than it is. We'll just have Superman do some fights and be a boss fight, and yeah, that's it. You know?
but it's crazy because actually, if you get to the audio logs, and we'll kick over it more in spoilers, this is all Superman's fault. Everything that just happened with the Justice League,
What?
yeah, it's his fault. If you listen to the audio logs, they will explain what happened and how the Justice League got taken over. So, you know,
Wow.
mm-hmm. It was because he made a dumb decision, and the whole world paid for it.
Oh man, really putting that on the heroes once again.
um, yeah, and I will say, like, and I think we said this yesterday as well. No, I guess I'll finish this point. Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight. Just got back from a
Yeah.
thing. But I will say, as far as like Superman's role, it should have been bigger. I don't like how he just kind of goes out like, yeah.
Mhm.
But I like the final scene before like with him where like the team is celebrating, but like I just don't like his death. I think there should have been more of him throughout the game, just like destroying stuff or like
Mhm.
more maybe even secret audio logs with him and Diana talking throughout the game, or Diana's trying to get him in line or something. That would have been cool.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um, Also, because I know in the cutscene version I saw they don't show it, Lois Lane also had a role in this game as well, which I thought was very sad.
She did. Yep.
Yeah, and her role was basically like she had to play the eulogy for each Justice League member. I was like, that's sad.
Oh.
Yeah, you could tell she was really broken up about it. She's keeping it together. It was really good addition.
Mhm.
Austin introduced something into the
Mm.
chat. Boss
Yep.
fight ways, they seem fun depending on what character you're using because there are clear tiers to playability to the characters, and some bosses are super difficult depending on your person. And then he said "fuv,"
Mhm.
so I don't know what that was for, but yeah, no, I agree.
Replace the V with a U with a
I
C.
know. I'm just
Okay. Out of curiosity, if you had this game, Jake, which character would you want to go as?
I hear Harley's really good to play as, but I like Deadshot's jetpack actually. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how it feels, but I like the jetpack. I like how it looks.
Hey, I'll go King Shark. Hey,
Mhm.
I'm just there to be direct and straight to the point. You know.
You led us into a good point there. We keep talking about the Justice League, but what do you think about the squad themselves?
Okay, here's my opinion because I'm actually a fan of the Suicide Squad from the comics and the concept. One of the things I liked about the Suicide Squad as a team is, you have like random characters in a bunch of these team ups, right? And I just like how they build off each other. Like you never thought like someone like Polka Dot Man could work so well alongside someone like Bloodsport, but there you have it. Same thing with someone like Tiger Shark, maybe even forming a romance with Killer Frost, this and that. But in here, it was just very, very straight to the point. Like you have the four characters, three of which are the poster childs of Suicide Squad, being Deadshot, Boomerang, and Harley Quinn. And you just throw in King Shark, who's already been a recurring member of the team, both in the comics and in the movies nowadays, right? So I would have wanted variety in this team. Maybe somebody else out of the box, out of the ordinary, you know?
I understand.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh,
with that,
and
okay.
another thing, another staple in Suicide Squad storytelling, you have to have someone die.
Mhm.
You notice, like in this game, nobody from the Suicide Squad team died.
Yeah, I think they were having a hard time figuring out how to do that in gameplay because they didn't want you to get attached to playing as a certain character and then they just die. You know what I mean? So like, I guess, and if you left them as an NPC, then you would just expect them to die. That wouldn't really be a shock. So I could see how the writing team was struggling with that. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me read what Austin's saying. Imagine telling people to grieve the people actively killing the city. F you, Lois Lane. It should have had a bigger roster from the start. I agree with that. Oh, well, speaking of rosters, there was one character I did like that they added, which was Gizmo.
Gizmo was pretty fun.
Yeah, he was fun. Like, I could definitely see him being part of this sort of team. He should have been a playable character, adding variety to the team.
Yeah. Austin also talked about this off podcast. He felt like since this is in the Arkham universe, especially the Arkham Knight should have been on the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, true. Instead, we get Penguin on the team. I'm a Penguin fan, and even I don't agree with putting him on the team before someone like Arkham Knight.
I think if you had the Arkham Knight in, the death of Batman would have been a lot smoother, or people would have found it more poetic. I think that would have been their idea. I get what you're saying, and everything you're saying, I could agree with too. If I'm not a Suicide Squad fan, I don't read their comics, but I know why that would be fun for a lot of people. That said, I do like this team because I think again the voice actors do a great job with their chemistry. I believe. Like I said, they act like assholes and they act like scumbags. I don't mean like the Guardians of the Galaxy assholes where they're like, oh, they're good people. I mean, like, no, they're just like actual assholes. But they're just fun. Like they're just funny. Like I get it. They're cool. And so I like playing as them. I wouldn't want to be with them, but I like playing as them. I thought it was
Okay.
Austin says should have added Jinx or a magic type person as well.
Yeah, that would have been neat. Hey, but I guess they're trying to. They're expecting players to wait for DLC packages.
Yeah. But yeah, I think. Oh, I guess the last thing we could do, the main villain of the game, who kind of comes in late.
Well, Jake, before we get to the main villain, do you want to talk more about Batman and how he died?
Yeah. So Batman's death. Oh, right. Yeah. So everyone was like, man, the way they treat the Suicide Squad is so disrespectful. I'm like, man, it's okay. Batman was the one that only made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it was so mean. It was like the whole time it was really mean.
Like literally right before Harley Quinn kills Batman, she tells him, "Yeah, you're the guy who spreads misery to everybody who's around you." Like, really? Come on.
I don't think that's not what I'm talking about. I think on that scene on its own, it's whatever. That's how Harley feels. I'm talking about like from the time you beat him to the time he dies, he is constantly disrespected in the worst ways. I don't know if it was in your version of the game. There's a moment where you're escorting him back on a wheel, on the gurney, and he's strapped to it, and he's like, "I am vengeance. I am the night." And then they punch him in the face. I'm like, bro, come on, like that's his life, bro.
They have Harley Quinn carrying him out and eventually putting him in that portable cage, making him like a pet. I'm like, damn it, man. Yeah. Oh, she even calls him Batmite. Like,
yeah, I'm like, this is like kind of getting me. It's like because they go through all of his iconic lines and moments, but they just degrade them. I'm like, you could have had him said anything else and then get cut off. I don't know why you're doing this whole bit. This
gotcha. Especially when the studio went out of the way to advertise this game as, Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman,
Or you need to beat him, drag him, torture him, watch him get tortured by Lex, and then publicly execute Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. Keep in mind, they wanted that hate because they wanted the hate to generate, conversations and advertisement. But hey, that's a gamble when you go that route. Because if this game ends up underperforming, then who are you gonna blame? Like, was it you're gonna look back at your decisions? Like, okay, maybe we should have rethought this whole hate strategy.
Yeah, I think, like I said, and he's the only Justice League member to get it. And don't get me wrong, I'm okay with Batman like losing every once in a while. I think he needs to lose more. But
Hmm.
this was like, come on, I don't. This is getting uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah. Here's what I think happened because, like, the original script, right? When Conroy was still alive, I think I don't think Batman was supposed to die because, like, keep in mind, Harley Quinn shot him in the head, right?
Right.
You don't think Batman has a bulletproof mask since he's so armored up?
Well, to be fair, if you play the Arkham games, eventually those bullets will kill you.
Yeah, eventually, but mechanic wise, for story you're talking about like game mechanics, but for story purposes, yeah, his costume would be bulletproof, and all you would think like the head would be the most heavily fortified one out of them all, right?
Yeah,
Even if Harley Quinn shot him point blank, he would get knocked out. I'd imagine he'd survive, which is
mhm.
what which is probably what the writers intended. They wanted this to be like a fake out, right? A fake out death. That way, when they come out with the next DLC package, they'll say, "Look, Batman was actually alive, but oh crap, the voice actor just died."
That's what yelling there. Um,
Yeah,
maybe I could see that. I think personally, just the way he went out, I think they really intended because they pretty much lynched that man all the way to his death. I was like, I think he was actually dead. I
So
go
so cool. So question, Jake, do you think they deserve all the hate they got from that?
from the Batman scene.
Yeah.
From the scene he got shot, no, but the lead up to it, absolutely. That was uncalled for.
No, no. Factor everything in.
Okay, if
You
I
know.
factor everything, yeah, I think
Mhm.
if Kevin Conroy was okay with it, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
I don't think it should have
Yeah.
been like. Okay, I'll be this way. I don't think the outrage should have been as bad as it was. But I
Hmm.
don't mind if people were like, "Hey, that was like unnecessary. Like what?
Hmm.
Like what was that?" you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Austin said instead of more Brainiacs, they should have had it bring more JL members from Supergirl to Hot Girl and the Atom.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is a bit later in the story. But you know.
They're trying to save so much content for DLC packages in the future, but I feel like with the reception and the performance this game has received, this might end up going the way of Avengers PS4. You
Mm.
know?
Which is a shame because I'm actually interested in where the story goes. I actually want to see what happens next.
Hmm.
um but yeah, like I said, I just think the Batman stuff is unnecessary. It didn't make any sense why it was him specifically when every other Justice League member got like a pretty quick death. Um it was just like really uncomfortable. It's just like you guys
Yeah.
got but yeah, outside of that, then we had Brainiac, who was played way differently than I've ever seen Brainiac be played before. Um,
Really?
yeah, I mean, he was way more like Ultron from the MCU. That's what he reminded me of.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Did you see that
Yeah,
scene?
yeah, I saw the fight. I saw all of Brainiac's part in this game.
Hmm.
It just seemed like Brainiac, you know. I didn't think anything really stood out. I mean, even the tentacles he had in his back. I mean, I'm just having flashbacks in the Injustice 2 game, you know.
I
So
remember. I haven't seen Justice 2 in a long time. I was thinking about rewatching it, but like, I don't remember Brainiac being so like jokey, which is like it was an interesting take. I don't hate it.
hmm
I don't remember it being that like jokey. Um,
hmm
Brainiac to me, the way I remember him is mostly from like in the animated universe where he's like a robot, a machine. He's kind of cold, you know.
yeah.
Um, and maybe there's some slight deviations here and there where it depends on like every version it changes who he is. But I've never seen him like this before. Uh,
hmm
Austin says he was ugly and had no nose.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I know that too.
yeah, but yeah, it was just me. I also, and here's the other thing. Here's my last note on the story. There are a lot of problems with the story, I think. So don't get me wrong. Like, it is not a perfect story. But my major problem is once they killed the first Justice Leaguer, why not just send the whole team to jump them, right? Like,
Uh,
even if you don't think the Suicide Squad is a problem, like, get like two Justice Leaguers and beat them up. right?
Yeah.
Go kill him.
I mean, the idea is nobody expects the Suicide Squad to ever beat the Justice League, which on paper, yes, they should not win, you know?
But once
I
you
mean,
kill one Justice Leaguer, that's like a Justice League threat. That's what I'm saying.
hmm
Go beat
yeah.
them up. Batman, Green Lantern, go beat up the Suicide Squad. Get it over with. You know, in the game, they spend so much of the game trying to kill one league member at a time. If they just got jumped by two of them, it would have been over. So,
hmm
but yeah, there you go. At the end of the day, Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League. I think it's a fun story. I don't think it's $70 worth, but you know,
hmm
watch. I think.
All right. So let's talk about the future of this, because we did get some news that Joker is going to be a DLC. Well, he's going to be the next DLC package in the foreseeable future. I don't know if you saw him
Yeah,
yet.
real quick. Austin said in reference to Brainiac, he was definitely much Ultron. That's what I was thinking. But yeah,
hmm
yeah, we're getting Joker, and then which is like he's a different Joker. He's a Joker who's just learning to be the joke.
Yeah, which I think is for the best, because, again, in light of Conroy passing, Mark Hamill has officially retired from voicing the Joker. Because he doesn't feel comfortable doing that without Batman along his side. So much respect to Hamill for doing that. So I think this is just the best possible scenario if you want to continue on with the Joker character in the Arkham verse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there was another DLC villain announced. There was also some rumor that maybe the Justice League aren't dead and these were just clones. It doesn't. Listen, it doesn't matter because no matter what, if the Justice League are alive and they come back, their careers are done. There is no there is no Justice League anymore. Okay, they've already
Do you mean to tell me the Justice League are going to be villains while the Suicide Squad are going to be celebrated as heroes? Come on.
I mean, listen, my thing is like everyone was like, oh, maybe this league will come back. They'll save it. No, it won't. Okay.
Mhm.
Listen, the moment people saw Green Lantern slaughter people down the street, that was done. There is no coming back from that. Okay,
Hey, give it 2 weeks when the next apocalypse when apocalypse comes and invades Earth, and the Justice League are there to save the day.
they are. No one will care. I'd rather him kill me. But yeah, that was yeah. But yeah, like I said, I guess we're done with the spoiler-free section. We've kind of spoiled a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, guys, go watch it on YouTube. Don't buy it. I mean, unless if you're into looter shooters, I guess I've heard people like it for that. But.
If you like games where you're using guns, go with this game because the characters you play are going to be using guns, even if it doesn't make sense for them to use guns. So
yeah, I heard the melee attacks are really bad in this game, so you really just gotta rely on
Yep.
that. But,
I mean, I would expect King Shark of all people to have a good emphasis on his melee attacks, but apparently not.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're doing spoiler-ish free stuff. So go watch on YouTube. Who cares? So now we're going to spoil. So do you want to know the story about why the Justice League were brainwashed?
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you read the audio, if you go to the audio logs, I think it's like the Heroes and Villains audio tapes. You get kind of the history of the universe up to that point, and the Justice League has just kind of formed. Batman is getting used to the idea of trusting people again. He's kind of been going off the board with like fear toxin and all this stuff. Like he's been a fear toxin Batman. Suicide Squad comes in at some point. They're like, Batman, like you got to be better, and he's like, okay. So he kind of joins the team. He's not used to being a team. The Justice League are way more focused on their PR image because they want the people to know that they can be trusted. So they open the Hall of Justice. Which is a museum, as you know, like in the comics. It's a museum where like people can come see their adventures and exploits and all that stuff, which is all fine, right? And one day, Brainiac shows up. The ship, not the invader. Like he doesn't invade. There's just a ship hovering in space, right? Superman, they have a meeting about it because the ship hasn't done anything. And Superman's like, well, we need to go there in peace. And Batman's like, no. what are you talking about? And Superman's like, well, yeah, I know it looks scary. It's a giant skull in space in the sky, but like, it's an alien. Maybe to them, skulls aren't like the same as death. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
What was it? Flash was like, Cal, like, this guy isn't you, okay? It's like, you fell from the sky in a baby crib. This is a giant skull in space. He's like, but like maybe he doesn't know better. And so and Green Lantern's like, yeah, you know, I'm a beat cop in space, you know, so I think that we got to go through procedure. We got to talk to the guy and get to know him. Wonder Woman's in the middle. She's like, I hear both sides, but I'm not really sure. And then and Superman's like, no, we're just gonna go talk to him. It's gonna be a thing. And so basically, before they can do that, Brainiac sends a message. He sends an invitation to them. He's like, hey guys, my name's Brainiac. I'm from this planet. Hey, can you guys like come up to my ship and, you know, meet me in my personal chambers and we can talk about stuff in my room where all my gadgets are?
Oh God.
And Superman's like, and then like Batman's like, this is a trap. And then Superman's like, maybe he has good intentions. We gotta give him a chance.
Oh my God.
And we were Wonder Woman's like, Cal, like, no. This has got to stop. And then Superman's like, okay, well, listen, how about this? How about we go up there, we talk to him. If things go wrong, then we bust out swinging. But we got to set a good example for the people of Earth. We got to let them know that we're not guns first, that this is how we interact with aliens. We talk, we fight, if things don't go wrong. And they're like, okay. Okay, so they go up to Brainiac, and then Brainiac's like, hey guys, nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Brainiac, and listen, I'm here because, like, my world keeps dying in every universe. I don't know why I care about the multiverse, but I just do. My world keeps dying in every universe, and I'm going to bring it back. I want to terraform the planet to do it. And then Batman's like, absolutely not. And Superman's like, yeah, we can't do that. And then he's like, but, like, I can make your world better. Cal, you understand, because you're from Krypton. Your world blew up, right? Green Lantern, you're on my side, right? And they're like, no. So I guess we got to fight now. And then, like, the fight happens. We don't know what happens, but it just ends with Justice League getting captured.
Oh, man.
And only Wonder Woman and Flash get out. And Flash is like, oh, shit, this went bad. It's okay. Where are the others? I don't know. I think they're on the ship, Diana. I don't know what's going on. And then they get news that, like, Green Lantern's slaughtering people and all this other stuff. They're like, I guess we got to do what we can. We'll save the city. So,
I feel sorry for every male Justice League member that was on this game. Like,
but that's how the Justice League got captured at the start of the game, and that's why I said Superman should have had so much more to do with this game because he's the reason this happened.
Oh man, don't put that on him. I didn't know that he was the reason for all this.
He was, because he wanted to be nice. He wanted to set an example for the people of Earth, and he wanted to accept Brainiac with open arms, and so that's why the Justice League fell at this time. So, there you go. I think it's an interesting tragedy. It's a tragedy on, like, Superman's character and how naive he can be.
Yeah.
This definitely wouldn't be the one from the animated series. I'm telling you, the one from, like, the Superman the animated series would have just beat the shit out of Brainiac. Okay. You remember that episode in Justice League where Darkseid comes in? He's like, my planet's in danger. Brainiac's attacking. Superman's like, good.
Well, keep in mind that was a Superman of experience at that point because Darkseid humiliated Superman by brainwashing him and thinking he was Apocalypse, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's an inexperienced Superman. He's naive. He might not know better. He doesn't know where his limits are. And also I like it too because Batman earlier in the video calls, he has this arc where, like, Batman's been Batman 24/7 since Arkham Knight. And Superman's telling him, like, listen, you're on the Justice League now. You don't have to wear the mask all the time. Get some sleep. We'll handle it. And Batman's like, I don't know. Like, what if something goes wrong? He's like, listen, I get it, but you got to trust us. And he's like, okay. And then Superman's like, oh, by the way, can you take off the mask, please? And he's like, I guess. You know, so it was kind of tragic to me, and this is that Batman finally opens up, and the moment that he like leans all in on Superman's "we're friends, we can do anything," they fail. So, you know.
Again, such a mean-spirited bash on the Justice League, you know?
Yeah, so but I liked it as a tragic story. But yeah, it is what it is.
Mhm.
But that's the story of the Justice League. And then they get killed by the Suicide Squad.
Oh, man.
But yeah. So are there any things that in the spoiler section you wanted to go over that we couldn't talk about before?
Let's see. So yeah, there are apparently 12 other Brainiacs that the Suicide Squad are going to have to go and kill.
Yeah.
There ain't no way we're getting 12 chapters of DLC content for this game. Like, you
I'm a
know,
bit confused. This is what I alluded to this earlier, but like, why does Brainiac care about the multiverse of his planet? Why not just the one? Right?
mhm,
Like, who cares? Like, if he's like, I want to make my world a multiversal constant. I'm like, brother, like,
mhm,
fix your world, fix one world, you know?
mhm.
Yeah, his whole thing is weird. I don't know why there's 12 different Brainiacs other than we need more content, but it's whatever. You know?
Right.
I think this should have been a single player game.
Wait, what was that?
I think this should have been a single player game.
You mean like in the same way as the Guardians of the Galaxy PS4 game was?
Kind of, I would have liked like if they had a co-op feature where like other people could join you. That's great. That's kind of what I wanted. But like, I just wish it wasn't like an online only thing. From my understanding, is it?
I don't know. I know they have physical hard copies selling in GameStop.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But I don't. Can you play Kill the Justice League without Wi-Fi? You can't play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League offline. Okay, that's what I was thought. So yeah, I wish they would have done that as well. What did you think about Amanda Waller in this game?
She was fierce. She was scary. I like the part where she was thanking the Suicide Squad for their services and that they'll be commemorated right after she shoots a nuke at where they're located at. You know, like
I like all of Amanda Waller's freakouts. They're so good.
yeah.
I like the one where like they're trying to get the bombs out of their heads, and then like Amanda Waller stops them, and then like King Shark's like this is dishonorable. My father went, I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. I was like,
hey, she's a scary woman, you know. That's what people like about her, you know.
He's like, yeah, you're daddy. I think that actress did such a good. She was a Jedi, the Jedi games as well, but she does such a good job in that role. You know.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I'm trying to think if there's any other character we haven't seen or talked about yet. Toy Man.
His is kind of sad. I ain't gonna lie. He was like really sad.
Oh, how he was like such a big fanboy, thinking that these were superheroes only to get the injection in his head. Oh,
and he never found out. I don't think he ever finds out he was injected. He just thinks he's like capturing the Justice League.
yeah. I was like a little crossroads with him because, all right, you already have Gizmo. Why do you need another tech savvy? You know?
Well, that's because like they're tech based in different ways. It seems like Gizmo is more like is not as smart as Toyman. Toyman studied the Justice League, so he knows how to make the stuff they need for them. But like Gizmo is more like I can get you like a car. I can get you like some upgraded tech or something like that.
Gotcha.
That's how I took it, at least.
Okay.
Going back into the Suicide Squad being assholes, I love the whole bit with Kid Poison Ivy. I like the bit where like like they're just like I don't know if we should do this. She's like a little girl. Maybe we should just like let her go because she was just got out of being in the lab with Lex Luthor, and while they're and then at some point while they're arguing this, Boomerang's like, well maybe we should just bomb her, just put a bomb in her just in case. Only to find out he did it like before they even talked about it. He already put the bomb. Like he put a bomb in a child's head. and everyone got mad at him. I like those moments too.
Uh,
Um,
I just can't. I kept getting distracted by her eyes. I just
I
don't
could
like the design of those. You know.
I could see it.
Hmm.
There's some funny in-game dialogue I also noticed before today. There's one where you know what, like so after they kill the Flash, uh, there's in-game dialogue where like at some point Harley's gonna look over to Boomerang and Boomerang's gonna be sad. He's gonna be like, "Hey, Boomerang, yeah, did the high of killing your greatest nemesis finally catch up with you?" He's like, "Yeah." do you want do you want to kill some guys to get your minds off of it? Yeah.
Oh.
So like I like those moments with them. They also mentioned the rogues in this game. Boomerang's team.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
There was a bit where they were like where Deadshot was like, so how are the rogues gonna feel that you killed the Flash? He's like, listen. The rogues and we had a cool thing going with the Flash. We had a no-kill rule, and we all followed it. But I didn't really I don't mind killing. I just liked having the friends.
Nah.
But you can't tell them that I killed the Flash because then they'll kill me.
Okay. Okay, I like that explanation because I don't know if you're aware about this in the comics, but Boomerang, he's been divorced from the Rogues for a good long while at this point,
Yeah.
because he's now permanently a member of the Suicide Squad, like
Yeah, it's not like that he was actually scared of he was scared of his friends finding out. He just wanted to be cool with them. He was like, I just want to kill the Flash, but I don't want to break our friendship. So
Oh,
yeah, so I like that. I like those little moments. Like I said, there's so much in this game I see that in game sounds like really cool storytelling wise. There's like the one where like Lois Lane is interviewing a guy about there's a Batman militia where they're getting like a bunch of normal guys to fight the Batman, right?
yeah.
And Lois Lane's interviewing them, and she's like, "So yeah, you guys are the anti-Batman militia. You're gonna go fight Batman?" He's like, "Yeah, that's right." And then they're like, yeah, so what's the deal with that? Like, you really think you're gonna take on Batman? He's beating the Joker." And he's like, "Oh, that dude's mentally ill." Well, there was Ra's al Ghul, the Arkham Knight, Scarecrow, all mentally ill people. He's never fought us before. And then as he's talking, there's a guy in the background. He's like, "He's on the walls," and then Batman comes down and kills him. He's in the shadow.
Oh wow.
There was like great moments like that. He's like, "Lois, I'm coming for you."
In Batman's offense, that's likely what he said in the animated series too. So,
I think the game has a great sense of humor. As far as the peeing on the Flash bit, I know they say he did. I don't think he actually did. I think they stopped him before he did it. Because if you,
yeah, but still,
yeah, well, I would expect Boomerang to want to piss on the fuck him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I didn't like? How they kept disrespecting the Flash's role on the Justice League.
Oh.
It's one thing for Boomerang to say the Flash is like a nobody, fuck him. You're not even the best on the Justice League, fuck you. But after you kill the Flash, there's a lot of dialogue where everyone's like, "Oh, congratulations, you killed the weakest member of the Justice League." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" The guy who could control time is the weakest member of the Justice League? What are you talking about?
The guy who could create a retcon to the entire universe is weak. Come on.
Hey, come on, that was an impressive kill. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then you had Green Lantern who was like, "Man, they killed my boy the Flash. I'm gonna cap their asses." I was just basically doing his dialogue, I guess. And then Batman's like, "But don't underestimate them." He's like, "Don't worry. Unlike the Flash." Oh no, Batman was like, "Don't underestimate him. Even though the Flash is undisciplined, you have to be better." He's like, "Don't worry. Unlike him, I'm trained." I'm like, "Bro, come on. Don't show him the Flash like that." He's like,
yeah.
So, yeah, there's stuff like that as well. How did you feel about the multiverse getting introduced yet again in the story?
It's whatever at this point. You're getting a multiverse whether you want it or not, I appreciated the Arkham series for being somewhat grounded, street level, keeping it to the streets. But now I have like 12 different universes to consider now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say that I will ask this question too. At the end of the day, did this need to take place in the Arkham universe?
No, it didn't.
I
If
100%.
if anything, the multiversal stuff should have you could have just used that as an excuse for this game, having the Arkham series, cross over with them, but not have, but just don't make this world, the Arkham universe that's dealing with all this,
I think this should have been Arkham adjacent. Like this should have been
Yeah.
next to the Arkham universe, but maybe not the Arkham universe.
hmm Like even with the stuff you were talking to me about, like with Deadshot, right? I mean, that sounds complicated to have to go through,
Yeah.
to say this was a different universe, and bam, you're good,
Yeah. I think, like I said, I just think that this could have been Arkham. Like by the time I finished the game, I literally sat down. I was like, "What did this being in the Arkham universe add to anything?" Add anything? Because we don't know.
Again,
I was
yeah.
gonna say like we don't know who this team is. Like we never met the Justice League in the Arkham universe. So what does it matter that they're in the Arkham universe? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something earlier? I cut you off.
Oh no, I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, continue on.
Uh,
I mean, yeah, it's the bed they made, and we're going to have to see how they lie in it.
yeah. I guess
Uh,
now that we're in spoilers too, another thing I want to talk to you about is like how much I don't like the Batman fight. I think it makes no sense to me.
Having him as a demon.
That and like just the way Batman treats the situation. So like in the first time he meets the Justice League, he pretty much fights you like you would fight in the Arkham games, where he's like appearing out of vents, walls, and all this other stuff, and yada yada. And that's basically what you expect. And then the real boss fight happens, where like you're actually fighting him later in the game, and it's like this horror game, and I'm like, okay, this is like cool, whatever. And then like, but the plan was that Harley. And by the way, I do like this moment. Earlier, Batman gives a speech and as a hologram for his contingency plans, and he's saying that the way to beat him is that well, he was talking to the Robins. He was like, the Robins, Robins need to work together, and you need to come up with all your best strategies and skills and harmonize them, and that only then could you beat me, maybe. And that plan didn't work for obvious reasons, because for starters, like if Batman knows he made the contingency plan, so like right, like he would know they're coming here, right? That's kind of and but the Suicide Squad take away from this is the best way to beat Batman is to be a team, no deviations. You have to be a tight unit. Great. So the plan is that all the squad has to trust Harley Quinn's plan to undo Batman's fear toxin. And it's a great moment where like the team really puts all their trust into Harley, who's a member that they don't really trust that much because he's crazy. And meanwhile, Batman's eating away at their confidence, and they have to fight their fears to win. And I thought that was good, and I thought this was all great and everything. But then Harley's plan works, and I don't quite understand. She mixes the fear toxin, so it shows Batman his greatest fear, I think. But for some reason, he's still a bat demon. And furthermore, they have to shoot at the big bat demon. And I'm like, Batman, you can fight like hand to hand. Why are you a bat demon? So, I was very confused. I was like, are they really shooting at Batman? Because
is it all in their heads?
yeah, because if I was playing as Batman and I had to fight the Suicide Squad, I'd be in the grates, the vents. I'd be like throwing batarangs and shit. I would be like a giant thing just standing there trying to swat it. Dumb.
I would so spam the prep time I have thanks to Batman's gift,
Yeah, and Batman does have prep time. In the actual game, you can see Batman stalking the Suicide Squad for a long time, basically. So he had prep time. I guess I was confused. And then when he's like, they beat him, and I'm like, was he just standing there getting shot? Like, what happened? What was happening in this cutscene in this game? So the Batman fight just made zero sense to me, and I couldn't imagine like how did Batman actually lose. I think that was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, what did you think of the Batman section, the fear section? I guess.
Oh, just another boss fight, really. None of the final boss fights in this game really stood out to me. So,
I think the worst
except for Green Lantern. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, the Green Lantern mechanic was pretty good. That they shot the energy from the Sinestro Core ring at the green constructs to slowly chip away at Jon Stewart's confidence, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I do question some things. Like I know it's a game, but like then I question some things. Like so when they're fighting Superman and they're using gold kryptonite because the green kryptonite isn't working, I have to question like so when Superman fights them, he touches gold kryptonite and he's still resistant to it. Like it hurts him, but he's resistant to it. And so I'm like, Superman, instead of just like flying in circles and all this stuff, why don't you just like fly as hard as you can into Deadshot and just like punch his head off? Right? Like the gold kryptonite might hurt for a minute, but you killed one of them, right?
Yeah, Superman. It's almost like you're a slave to game mechanics, you know?
Yeah, things like that. Where I'm like, Green Lantern, I know you like the constructs and everything, but why don't you just grab them with one construct and like fling them into space or something? I don't know, like just, I don't know, but there was one moment before where they where he grabbed all four of them. Just grab all four of them, or grab two of them, fly them into space, kill them. You're done. It's I know Flash he couldn't get close to them because of the anti-Speed Force stuff, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you? So do you think this game has a future, or do you think it's just gonna die?
It's barely gonna get one DLC content, and afterwards it's gonna go the way of Avengers PS4. Like there's nothing much worth investing in it to give it more content, you know?
Yeah, and it's a shame because I was interested in the story. I wanted to know where it went, where it was gonna go. I like this team. I love these voice actors. I think they all kill it. They nail their performances. And again, I love their arc of learning to be a team. It wasn't learning to be better people. It was learning to be a better team. And I like that arc for them. I like the mini celebrations they do when they kill a Justice League member. Even how bleak things look for them at the start. Like I like all that stuff. There's so much to like in this story. I wish people truly could just accept the fact that the Justice League are dying in this game and just appreciate the story for what it is. Because the truth of the matter is, if you've been a DC fan as long as like 5 years, the Justice League die. Okay, they die all. This is nothing new. If they're not dying here, they're dying in something else. I remember one where Nightwing killed all the Justice League members or some shit. I was like, what? So
remember how they ended their animated movie universe?
When they killed everybody, yeah.
You got lucky if you were killed, man. You were either that or you were basically Pimtron, you know?
Yeah. I just wish people could get over it. It's whatever. Kevin Conroy did the role. If that's your grievance, he did the role. He knew what it was. I'm sure he thought there were other Batman roles for him on the horizon before, unfortunately what happened. I just think people gotta let it go and just enjoy the story for what it is. I think the writing's pretty solid. I think it still has that Arkham flavor. It's just not the same. But that's just me.
Gotcha. Just still not won over by the story. Like I want to see more. I want to see more variety added to the team. We might get that before this story inevitably ends, but we'll see. Gizmo, cool character.
Yeah. I think everyone. Oh, Colonel Flag was in this game. What did you think about him?
Oh, I forgot about him. Well, Colonel Flag was acting like a colonel. Like, yeah, go figure. Like, that's really the extent of his character in the game.
No, it's the best thing I can say about the game. I think everyone who who wasn't like the Justice League minus Wonder Woman, was pretty much in character. So,
Yep.
yeah, like I said, one time. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I recommend giving the story a watch. If you don't want to pay $70, I'm not going to guilt you into doing it. Do what you want. But yeah, that's our review, isn't it? Unless you got anything else you want to end off on.
No, that's it. I mean, again, follow us on Instagram at Comic Fanatic 2.0 or on Twitter -X at Comic Fanatic 69. Let us know what you thought of this game and all that good stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You have the game. What were your thoughts on the full story? If you just saw the cutscenes, tell us your thoughts. Yeah, and by the way, this is not Kevin Conroy's last performance, so don't get that twisted. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. We still got that part 3 of Crisis of Infinite Earths movie coming up, so yeah.
And a piece of advice for people. I want to say this: a PSA for people who are like upset this is in the Arkham universe. Here's a great thing you can do: just ignore it. Just play Arkham Asylum tonight, and it's over. Like, you can just say this was in a different timeline, and it would be true. So,
yeah. Just pick in your own mind what is the true ending of the Arkham universe. Hey, when I was watching Breaking Bad, I stopped my series at the final season where they got all the chemicals off that train heist, and I watched it. I watched nothing else after that. You know, to me that was a true ending. Nothing else. Like, you know.
There you go. This is just an Arkham-like universe. That's like
Gotcha.
Is that everything we have to do?
Yep, that's pretty much it. Well, audience, with that, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Why?